Sly Cooper. Yep. This is my favorite franchise of all time. One reason why is because I think this game came out in the perfect time during the PS2 era. And the PS2, being my favorite console of all time, was, in my opinion, the golden age of gaming. Developers at this time weren't just making games to make money and filling them with microtransactions. They were just trying to make a fun video game that you could play. And in Sly Cooper's case, they were trying to tell a story. So I'm going to be reviewing all 3 games. But now that that's all out of the way, sit back and let me tell you about the first entry in the greatest franchise of all time. Unlike Spider-Man, which its greatest strength is its gameplay, this game's greatest strength is its characters. It just wouldn't be the same without all the memorable characters, which is why a movie or a TV show would work so well. The other form of media that would work the best, though, is a comic book, because the game already built its aesthetic around comic books. Their goal was to make the animated cutscenes look like a comic book, and they succeeded. They did it so well that eventually they did make comics about it. Except these comics explain the plot between the games, which was a pretty good idea. So since this is a nostalgic review, I guess I should just tell you my experience with the game. The way I got it was, after playing a certain sequel to a certain game, my aunt got me another one in said franchise. So yeah, I played the second one, the first one, then the third one. I'm weird, I know. Wasn't my fault, okay? And I probably wouldn't have loved the franchise the same way if I didn't play the best one first. But enough about the second one. Let's talk about the first one. My opinion on the first one is difficult. I think it's a great game, but they changed the formula so much in the sequel, it just doesn't really compare to the second and third one. Compared to the second and third games, this game seems very underwhelming, but it's by no means a bad game. It just doesn't really compare. So when you start the game, you see Sly running around Paris, and this cutscene is just really cool. It does a great job of capturing the essence of what the character is without even saying anything. So he jumps onto whatever that is, and we start the game. And this is where we get introduced to the characters.
Sly! Come in! Sly! Do you read me?
Yeah, I read you. Loud and very loud.
Sorry.
First impressions are everything, and the game does a decent job of making these characters seem likable, but it's nothing compared to the second one. I'm sorry, I'll stop talking about it now. So here's a weird thing. Whenever Sly does an acrobatic move, there are these blue lights telling you where you can do so. Except you'd think it'd just be a little indicator, but no, it's actually something they talk about in the game.
Hey Bentley, I think I'm seeing things. Must be vertigo or something. Can you see those crazy blue lights?
Really? I've read about this. Master raccoon thieves are able to sense thieving opportunities, which manifest themselves as unexplainable blue auras. According to my research, all you have to do is get near them and hold down the circle button, and you should perform a super sneaky Master Thief move.
I just thought that was kind of funny. So once you crawl through a vent and break into the police headquarters, you go through some laser security, and it looks really hard, so when you do it makes you feel awesome. Now when I got to this point, I had to find the red door, and me being like a 4-year-old on a PS2, which had really horrible lighting, I was running around for like 10 minutes. But of course that doesn't happen to me anymore because I'm a big boy now, and I'm on the PS3, you know, take your pick. So once you find that the red door is locked, you have to climb around on the outside of it, which once again makes you feel like the coolest guy ever. And then you find the safe and find out what you're looking for. And, wait, I wonder if I remember the code. Has been a while, but...
Bruh.
Okay, so once you do that, you grab what you need, and then you get out of there. And then...
Criminal! You foolish raccoon. I've caught you red-handed.
Ah, Carmelita. I haven't seen you since I gave you the slip in Bombay.
Their relationship is complicated. They seem like they have a lot in common, but they're on opposite sides of the law, so... And I thought this part was so cool as a kid, but now I just realize how freaking bad her aim is. Holy crap, can you even hit a single shot? Okay, so once you escape to the van, it gives you some backstory on the situation.
It all began when I was just a kid, bouncing on my father's knee. You see, I come from a long line of master thieves who kept all their secrets of sneaking and stealing in an ancient book. The Thievius Raccoonus. Anyone who read it learned to be especially sneaky, which is why we specialize in stealing from criminals. After all, there's no honor, no challenge, no fun stealing from ordinary people. You rip off a master criminal, and you know you're a master thief. Well, on the night I was supposed to inherit the book, 5 visitors came unannounced to our door. My father fought to protect us, but the gang of villains known as the Fiendish Five overpowered him and ransacked our house until they found the Thievius Raccoonus. Our family's manual of thieving greatness fell into their filthy hands. They tore the book into 5 pieces and split it up, each villain disappearing to the farthest corners of the world to commit dastardly crimes. Broken alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme, and Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden. Together we pledged to track down the Fiendish Five, avenge my father, and steal back the Thievius Raccoonus. I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust.
I would comment about the style of the cutscenes, but I can't do so without comparing them to the second game, so we'll get to that when we get to that. So once you're done with all that, you can move on to the first world. And hold on, this villain has probably the best backstory I've ever heard in my entire life. He got bored of being rich, so he decided to be a criminal. I'm sorry, but I don't care how good your villain backstory is. It could be the deepest thing ever, but you can't top perfection, guys. So once you make it to the first world, you realize that the first mission of every world is just you arriving outside of the intended location, and you have to walk to the hub. I don't know any other game that makes you do that. That's freaking awesome. It gives you a good understanding of the atmosphere, and it leaves room for interesting level design and backstory on the area. So once we advance to the... This freaking guy. I could never freaking beat this level, because this freaking guy always stops me dead in my tracks, and always intimidated the freaking crap out of me. Or, you know what? Just get the frick out of here. Okay, so once we make it to the hub, we have to do a bunch of freaking levels. Then we can open this, like, what is this? Like a metal tube thing? It can't be an air vent. Just looks like a metal you know what? I don't care. So once you get through here, the only thing stopping you from going to the boss is a locked cannon. So you gotta unlock it by getting more keys. By the way, every time you beat a level, you get a key, just so you know. I just making sure. Okay, we're all caught up now. Okay, good. I'm only gonna go through the levels I really have nostalgia of, because no offense, most of the levels are pretty unmemorable. The only levels I really remember are the ones that change the gameplay styles up. And that level for this area is the submarine one. So I'll just make my way... Are you kidding me? This freaking guy, everywhere I go, he follows me. Come on, dude, just leave me alone. Get the frick out of here. Alright, so now let's go down to the submarine, and we go into the submarine level. It's interesting. You have to keep these crabs from taking away these treasure chests, and,
better luck next time?
Yeah, I did it. Okay, so, after that, you go into the boss, and, ow. And you make it inside and have the first boss encounter.
How delightful! We have a guest. The only thing is, I hate unexpected guests!
Listen, Raleigh. Wipe up my family and steal what's mine? You better expect company.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. How sloppy of me not to finish the job. Obviously, we should have snuffed you out as well. So, without further ado, let me make amends by what? Bloating to gargantuan size and squashing you like the insignificant bug that you are!
Bring it on.
I really admire Sly's character. He's usually very witty, but when the time calls for it, he can be incredibly serious. More examples of this later. So, you beat the boss, and hold on. Even the health meters in this game have personality. There's a little portrait at the bottom that changes as you deal more damage to them. One, indicating when each phase changes, and also they get more and more upset with you as time goes on. So after you beat the boss,
Blast it all! You've beaten me!
he tells you to go to the next person. And this is my favorite world out of all of them. Mainly because I love that he has this huge... Well, what is this? A casino? I don't even know. Actually, I remember some levels with casino stuff in them. Yeah, this is definitely a casino. Anyway, this is probably my favorite level because of the sliding doors. Yeah, I just think it's really cool how he has multiple layers of automatic doors until you can reach him. Nothing else. That's all I like. I was a really simple-minded kid. I was really easy to please. The new gameplay style for this world is a race with Murray. I always thought it was really funny how his head's poking out. He looks so stupid. So, not that hard. It's only the hardest level in the game. There are these frickin' three amigos, and they are impossible to beat. Come on. Come on. You can do this. I believe. I believe. What the f***? So, you get to the boss, and...
What? My boys have been yapping about some big mysterious dude running around cracking skulls and this is it? You're the monkey wrench in my operation? Some scrawny rat with a stick? Hey, wait a second. I seen that stick before.
Maybe when my father knocked your block off with it.
Wow! Let's rock!
Gameplay-wise, it's nothing much. You just hit the mirrors until this happens.
My beautiful gun is destroyed! Good thing I got a spare upstairs.
I always thought that line was really weird. Like, does he have affection for his gun? You know what? Whatever. So, you go through 3 phases, and then you beat him. Each time you beat them, they give you a page of the Thievius Raccoonus, which you're trying to recover, which you already knew. I don't know why I told you that. The next world probably has my favorite atmosphere of any world. The opening level gives you a great sense of atmosphere for the entire world. Except there are always these frickin' mosquito guys who always freak me the frick out because of the way they kill you. Did he just spit my blood out? What the frick? Okay, once you make it there, the level that changes the gameplay style is the one where you hop on like a frickin' scooter thing and shoot some ghosts. And the boss is probably the most unique one in the entire game. Actually, heck, probably the most unique one in the entire series. It's definitely one of my favorites. So you start up by launching yourself into the skull thing, and then you have another interaction.
I could feel that Cooper vibe a-coming. Most distastefully bad juju.
Yeah, well, you give me the creeps too, lady.
So this part's pretty simple. You just have to go at the right time. I would show you what happens when you get crushed, but when I was recording this, I didn't. What can I say? I guess I'm just a pro gamer. Alright, so you get to her pretty easily and you attack her. Except she teleports out of the way. What the freak? You can't do that. That's cheating.
Come back here. You can't run away forever.
Quite true. Quite true. Why don't I have my servant Chumley escort you over here?
Yo, Chumley for Smash? Now, I would show you the whole boss and what happens after you win. Except, in the HD version for the PS3, they frickin' ruined the whole boss. How this boss works is like a rhythm game. She does the thing, you do the thing. And it goes along with the music to help. Except, in the HD version, they remixed the song, but they didn't frickin' sync it up with the moves. So I can't do it. Ah! Okay, whatever. Boom, I beat it. Yay. Okay, next world. It's a snow world now. Don't really have much to say. I like the Japan theme. There isn't really a new gameplay style for this. At least none that I can remember. And if I don't remember, then it's not memorable. So I don't care. And this world hosts one of the most memorable Sly Boss fights of all time. The Panda King.
Why should you care if I bury a few worthless village in snow? You are a thief, just like me.
No, that's only half right. I am a thief from a long line of master thieves, while you're just a frustrated firework artist turned homicidal pyromaniac.
His fight's really nothing special, it's just an all-out brawl. Except, for some reason, his health meter, he already starts out pissed at you, and then as you hit him, he just gets depressed. Okay. So, you beat him, and he does this. Okay, and after this, we've reached the final world, and the opening movie for this sets the tone of it really good. Like, really good. Like, this is the most emotion that I've felt in the entire game. Holy crap, just look at it. It's amazing.
We were on our way to the Krakkarov volcano in Russia. While looking over what little information I had on the final member of the Fiendish Five, I began to notice something. In the 4 parts of the Thievius Raccoonus recovered so far, several of the pictures depict a shadowy owl-like figure, which looks very similar to the police images of the mysterious clockwork. Is this a strange coincidence, or is there something I'm missing?
Man, that is cool. So I lied. Although automatic doors are great, this is definitely my favorite world in the game, because it's the closest thing to an actual story-driven world. All the levels go in order, and they all have a ton of dialogue, and are all very important to the story. And all of them are a unique gameplay style. Some of them are returning, but some of them are brand new, like the one where you start shooting mines, and you try to make your way over to a tower.
That's no tower, it's a giant death ray! Sly, take out those rocks or we're in trouble!
Reverse, why aren't you going in reverse? We're gonna die! Okay, after that you start bumping these yellow magma things. This is the level I originally got stuck on back on the PS2 days, but nowadays I can beat it just fine. I mean, I'm too lazy to do it for this review, but I you know. Okay, the next one is where you save Carmelita from a cage. Yeah, it's nothing special. It has a lot of story, and yeah. After that, there's a completely unique mission that comes out of nowhere. A hacking mission, which has a frickin' sick beat, I must say. It's nothing much gameplay-wise, but these missions do become a staple in the series, so there's that, I guess. It's just weird how there's only one in the entire game. It seems like they put a decent amount of effort into them. So after that, Carmelita and Sly form a truce. You know what? The truce is off. Get the frick out of here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so after that, you have to do some platforming in, like, a volcano or something. I think it's pretty cool, and it's decently hard. Then after that, we reach the final boss, and we get some more backstory on the whole situation.
Sly! Behind you!
Sly Cooper, you have escaped my gas chamber and destroyed my death ray. Remarkable. You Coopers always find a way to beat me.
Always? So that was you in the background of all those old pictures in the Thievius Raccoonus. How old are you?
Perfection has no age.
What? You're immortal?
Revenge is the prime ingredient in the fountain of youth. I've kept myself alive for hundreds of years with a steady diet of jealousy and hate, awaiting the day when I would finally eclipse your family's thieving reputation.
Alright, so the main complaint about this boss fight is that they introduce a new mechanic at the very end. And yeah, I do agree, it's pretty weird. I mean, it's not that hard to get used to, and it's decently fun, except for when you go back down. The platforming starts out fine, you're doing all the things you've learned over the game, except for this part. This part's freaking impossible. Yeah, I did it! And I couldn't have done it without the power of friendship. And yeah, boom, I beat the game. So that was Sly Cooper. Once you beat the game, you get a mystery movie. Let's see what it is. Wait, what? What is this?
マたちの勝ちだ。このデータファイルがあれば、父ちゃんの仇が撃てる。
Okay, I'm not saying that this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, but this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Alright, so that was Sly Cooper. It definitely was a solid game. It just doesn't compare to the later entries. And I probably wouldn't have reviewed it if I wasn't reviewing all of the games. I think it's a pretty fun platform with great mechanics and a decent story, but it always leaves you wishing that the game was more open. Every level is very linear, and you always wish you could explore. I mean, look at this place. I want to explore here. This looks awesome. Maybe they could do that in, you know, a sequel. Although I must say, exploring the level and looking for extras is pretty dang fun. One thing this game does differently than all the other ones, you don't have health. You just go down in one hit. And yeah, that is a motivation to stay in the shadows, but you go down way too easily. Every enemy also goes down in one hit. You can take extra hits by getting these lucky horseshoes. It's really weird, and there's no background to it at all. They just come out of nowhere. Another thing that I also think is really weird is these extra lives. That always freaked me out as a kid. He looks way too happy, and why is my freaking head just floating on the floor? And look at his freaking face! He looks like he wants to eat you! Alright, let me get this guy out of the way. Oh, there's another one! Alright, there's the submarine level, and oh god, there's another one! So, overall, I think it's a pretty good platformer, but I definitely wouldn't have loved the franchise the way I do now if they stuck to this formula. But I'll get to that in the next part. So, thanks for watching my video, guys. I did it. I know it took me a while to get recording done on my PS3, but I pulled through. I hope you're enjoying weekly uploads. I don't know if this came out the week after I uploaded, but I hope it did. And I'm sorry. I do my best. I'm really trying to be good. for you guys, but it's really hard, especially because I'm growing so slow. Like, can you guys do better at your job? I'm trying, dude. Anyway, I'm in a closet right now. I'm really cramped. I need to get the frick out of here. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. I don't want this video to take 2 years. Alright, I still have to edit it and crap. Alright, goodbye.